Well, it seems like we're all being pushed in one direction, doesn't it? Let's begin. Now, of course, cash has always been about, hasn't it? And throughout my childhood, I was always taught to pay through money. And as time got on, I got a big boy and got a debit card. And from that point in time is really when it started to change for me. But then, a few years ago in 2016, I became a bit of an Apple sheep. And I got an iPhone 6S, which had Apple Pay at the time. And I thought it was really cool, paying by my phone. And from that point on, really, I haven't really used cash as much, or indeed at all, actually. In fact, there is one place where I still need to use cash, and that is at my barber's, because for whatever reason, he just won't move away from cash. I guess, he might just like the thought of the feel of the money, which, to be honest, I don't blame him. I'd love to be able to build money stacks, but most of my money, all £3.50 of it, is in the bank. So admittedly, it is a bit of an inconvenience to go to a cash machine to get money to go there, but without him, my hair would be literally as long as Jesus. And yes, I know, I could actually go to a different barber, but he's actually quite cool. So to be honest, I don't really mind doing that. And if this article from the Daily Express is anything to go by, then cash is actually on terminal life support and could be ending sooner than you'd think. The article also says that campaigners fear millions of people will be cut adrift from the financial system after a warning that cash could be phased out by 2027. Campaigners say that those at risk of being left behind as a cashless society looms include the elderly and vulnerable. John Howells, chief executive at the UK's Cashpoint Network Link, said the use of notes and coins is down to 40% since COVID and still falling as people switch to plastic. To be honest though, if you think about it, I think the main reason for that is probably because people were more than likely shopping online, weren't we? We were, of course, locked in our houses for nearly 2 years, on and off, of course. So it's no surprise in why people can't pay cash. I mean, you can't exactly put that through a computer screen, can you? But of course, as more people grow up and get smartphones, then they tend to use that form of payment. I mean, they've literally got the thing in their hand most of the time anyway, haven't they? But I just don't think 5 years is long enough. I mean, you have to think of the elderly, don't you? Because they often need a longer time to adapt to new technologies and things like that. I mean, my nanny still uses Sky Plus, I think, in a traditional sense, where you watch TV rather than using on-demand services. I think I tried to show her once, but I think by the time I left the house, she just went back to the old way of doing things. You also, of course, have to bear in mind that older people generally were more brought up around cash. I mean, they literally had it in their pay packets, whereas nowadays, of course, we have it transferred to our bank accounts. So they've used cash for most of their lives, and they think, well, why should I change now? And to be honest, I don't blame them either. I wouldn't like something coming along and saying, right, you have to change now. It should be up to the person if and when they want to change, not being forced to do it by the modern day technology. Unless, of course, they can be phased in over a period of time, like what they've done from pounds, shillings and pence to decimals. The number of free cash machines has dropped by more than a fifth in 4 years, from 52,358 in 2018 to 40,830. Mr. Howell's warning has sparked calls from campaigners for new legislation to protect access to cash. The plea follows plans that were outlined in the Queen's speech earlier this year. Caroline Abrahams, charity director of aaaages UK, said cash usage has declined over the past few years, with many businesses requiring customers to be paid by card or digitally during the pandemic. To be honest, I reckon the main reason for that is it's probably because it's more easier for the business. And of course, being paid either directly into their bank accounts or by card, that's actually more secure for them as well, because they don't have to carry a load of cash with them at the end of the day to the bank, do they? Of course, unless they're my barber, that is. I hope you're paying attention, Chris. But it's even going further than that, because some banking apps let you even pay checks in through them nowadays. You just take a picture of the check, of the front of the check, take a picture of the back, put the numbers in, and it lets you do it. You obviously have to keep hold of the cheque for a little while in case there's a problem until it clears, but it just seems to be less and less reason to go to the banks nowadays, doesn't there? Dennis Reed, director of Silver Voices, which campaigns for the over 60s, added, "We would seek reassurances from the new government that they are going to treat this seriously because so many people still rely on cash. Maybe 30 or 40 years down the road, we may be able to talk about this again. But at the moment, it's just not possible for people to be disenfranchised in this way." I mean, to be honest, I do agree with him. 5 years is too soon. And 30, 40 probably is pushing it a bit. Quite a lot of people in their 40s or 50s do tend to pay contactless now, don't they? So I don't think it'll be too hard for them to adapt. It just makes me wonder though, another reason why the cash machines might be going away is because they might not be used as much. Kind of like the BT phone boxes, which seem to be an endangered species nowadays, don't they? I mean, they're disappearing all over the places because we've all got mobile phones. Well, most of us have anyway. Or maybe, who knows, I guess they probably think we're fools and just won't notice, like in this video. Well, I guess they just expect us to fall for this all the time. Anyway, subscribe for more and I'll see you in the next one.